It would appear that the end of 2025 is just about upon us. And I typically do two videos every year, one near the end of the year and then one in the beginning. Do a wrap up and then a plan forward. I'm a planner. One of my professors at Michigan State University, he was kind of a controversial character, but nobody denied his actual success, and even his haters were like, "Yeah, that guy's got a lot of money, But and he was a big planner, and he really imprinted that upon my young little brain. But this will be the year in review. I just ran around my house and took a couple of snapshots. I'll throw them in the video. I did a cross project. Happy with that. I took a piece of very old wood from Coon Paw's stockpile laying around behind one of his rice houses, but it looked like a piece of shipwreck wood, and a few other things. You'll see. I'll talk over it or something. But I did some personal projects, and those were fun, healthy, good distractions, fun. My son taught me this. The user experience, like lusting after status symbols and expensive things that you think maybe you might kind of want that you never really want, and you're never happy once you buy. I got out of all that, praise God, years back. I did that plenty long enough. I was plenty dumb. Not saying I wasn't, but I'm finally out of all that. Now, though, there's another side to that, and he taught me the value of something that you use all the time that facilitates this experience that you enjoy. If you really enjoyed riding a motorcycle through the canyons, you're going to kind of need the motorcycle. You could make motorcycle noises and run really fast, I suppose. Somebody might try that one. But so I just had another idea based on this philosophy of his, which was I enjoy my average once a week cigar smoke and bourbon tasting by myself here in the quiet of my own property, which I really enjoy. But I'm always struggling with finding something to use for a table, like a footstool, and it's always some ugly, dirty thing I got to clean or wipe or something. And I'm going to make a little tiny short, this tall, little tiny cigar table that sits next to my Adirondack chair when I'm in full recline mode and chilling and pondicating life and cigars and half the time talking with my son when I do that. And that'll be a nice experience, won't that? Won't that be nice? So I've come up with a design concept. Next is to get some wood, and over the next month I'll putz on this, and then I'm going to get a couple Thai friends of mine involved, one to carve the wood and one to weld the legs and stuff on it. So that'll be fun. Those are both nice guys, and they're always fun to work with anyways. So we'll do that. So that's kind of like I get to this point now, and I'm just doing these sort of pleasant, pleasing, nice, I'm an edge environment guy. I remember from I think we called it junior high school back in the day, that certain animals like this zone, right in the edge of a zone between one kind of habitat and the other. And I have found myself, as I look back, I like that myself. And so I like living on the edge of the city of Korat, and I'm on the edge of a village, and I'm on the edge of a bunch of rice fields. I think those are the things that subconsciously appealed to me when I selected to build a house here on this piece of property. At the time, I could not have articulated that to you, but in hindsight, it's almost kind of glaringly obvious. So, but I like seeing different things and going to different places. I hate traveling. So for me, this works out great. 20, 30 minutes by bespoke custom chopper motorcycle. And I'm at the gym, at a favorite coffee place, at a nice restaurant, meeting a friend for a smoke or a drink or a coffee or something. Most of the times by myself, unless the conversation is going to be rather stimulating. I'd rather just have my own company, bring a good book, text back and forth with my boy, send a dopey photo or something to my daughter. One of my big pastimes is trying to get my daughter to laugh. I always used to love doing that. But no, this is closing out 4 years, just about to the day here. And I arrived here 4 years ago, a year and a half of studying Thai under my belt, so I spoke basic Thai pretty well. My tonality was way off, but on basic Thai, tonality is less important, because if you say Hong Nam Utinai, everybody knows you're looking for the bathroom. You could mangle the tonality on that and people will know what you're saying. So anyway, so I did that. I was doing that, but I came here. I was pretty upset. I was pretty upset. The divorce was not something I really wanted to. In the end, I really wanted it, but it wasn't my goal. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? I really didn't. I wanted to stay married my whole life, but and I was upset about the mandatory or forced retirement. I couldn't work anymore, and I didn't like that. Now it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me. It was a blessing in disguise, sort of, like in an extreme way. I was going to grind my spine into the dirt if someone didn't forcibly stop me. So it was really a good thing. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to spend some time by myself. I knew I wanted to relax and get away from haters and fake friends and all that kind of stuff. I just gone through the loss of a whole bunch of friends. I don't know what you guys think. I'd be curious to hear comments on this, but from my personal experience, the most spoiled and therefore the least quality people, the most selfish, self-centered people tend to start around age, like here in 2025 at the tail end, started at an age of around 70-ish, early 70s maybe, is kind of where you start to really see a density of them. And then by an age of about 45, maybe 48 or 45, 50, somewhere in there, they're tapering out, and you're getting into, as you get younger, a higher percentage of better people. And if you're people older than 72, 74, or whatever the hell it is, I find better people. But in that sweet spot, which is my age, I get the joke. I find the most selfish, most entitled, most participant ribbon receiving, unnice people, the people that are just waiting their turn to start talking again when you want to share something with them. Yeah, I hate people like that. And in my friends at that age, that's where there was a lot of jealousy, because then I was retiring, whether it was my idea or not, or how good it was going to be or not, and it was going to be a way smaller fraction of what I'd invested and planned for myself because of the forced circumstances. But still, people were jealous. I was retiring. They were working and, all that stuff. And I was able to afford to retire. Praise God. Praise God. I had planned for a robust enough retirement that cutting it into significantly less than half, I still had enough to afford a nice retirement. Praise God. I had planned. Back to that professor at Michigan State, Doug Crone. I still remember. There's no way he could be alive these days, I wouldn't think. He was not a young man back then, 40 years ago. So, hell of a guy, though. Hell of a guy. Yeah, with the jealousy and that generation being maybe the most entitled. Because, I've got younger friends through a car club, and I didn't lose one. And I know some people called them, because several of them told me. Somebody went around and called all my friends in the car club to say what a rotten louse worm of a guy I was, and not one person listened. How about that? Of the people my age, and some of which I was close friends with for 40 years, which that kind of surprises me, and that did sting a little bit, to be honest. I lost a couple, which I expected to lose none. Odd. But I was stinging from all that 4 years ago. I was stinging from that, the whole forced change. I'm a same guy. I'm the kind of guy, I go to a restaurant, I tend to order this. If I go to O&D, I get either the German sausage platter, it's a German restaurant, right? I get the German sausage platter or the meatball sandwich. I bounce back and forth between the two at about a 3 or 4 to 1 ratio. I'm happy. This is where the investment in the house worked for me. So after 4 years, what do I have to show for it? So I built a house, generally statistically a terrible idea. Don't build. Please, if you look at this video, you're watching this video, please don't think, wow, building a house in Thailand, what a great idea. No, don't do that. I don't know percentages, but it's certainly common that it works out badly for the foreign guy who paid for it all. He may be invited to leave, or I think typically is never really encouraged to leave. If they encourage you to leave, because then it's physically not safe. If they're that kind of people, then you do have to leave. But no, just generally, you want to know your circumstances and surroundings for a while. And now my tie is pretty good. I mean, half the time, in fact, more than half the time, and I'm thinking, gee, I don't understand that. I sit and I just pause for a second and I go, oh, they just said. Like I was watching a movie with the Thai subtitles on the other day, and I was able to catch the first 1, 2, or 3 words as the subtitles flash across the screen. And when you can, Thai is not easy to read because there's no space between the flipping words. If they just put space between the words, it'd be 1,000 times easier to read. But why make anything easy? I get that. So what have I achieved? So I've gotten pretty good at Thai. I've gotten I speak, read, and write Thai at a very reasonable level, very functional. I was looking at a website or an email or something I got, and it was all in Thai. I went, okay. And I was able to read it and understand it. That's very hard to do. And I'm reading at the level of maybe like a 9-year-old or something. But that for a senior Western person that didn't come here until he was a senior, man, that's pretty rare. You don't probably see that 1 out of 100 retirees here. I bet you don't. So that's been a success. That's worked out well for me. I designed and built a custom chopper, bagger, Harley Davidson muscle race drag bike, something in my mind of what I kind of dreamed. And then that turned out to be a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but it was fine. Poise, Harley Davidson, and Korat, I'll give them full credit. They did a phenomenal job. They were reluctant to take on the build, but I think because the potential for losing face, because that's a biggie. But they did, and we brought in a specialist, 2 specialists to do the custom paint and the actual metal bending, welding, and fabrication. Then finished my design. I designed this house over 4 years. For 4.5 years. So since before I got here, I was thinking about a design for a house. I wanted a house because I'm a homebody guy. And so this suits me. And now designing a house that's big and fancy isn't that hard. Designing a house that's small and cheap isn't that hard. Getting a house that's just right, that'll have enough luxury touches to make you feel comfortable and appreciated and like you're enjoying your retirement with maybe an incremental bit of pampering, but yet still kind of bohemian, kind of cheap, not too big, easy to maintain, maintenance-free style of all steel, concrete, etc. I would have loved to do wood. I'm a wood guy. Woodworking was a big hobby of mine throughout my entire life, and but with my fear of insects, we're like, wood's not happening. You cannot have wood here. I got some teak doors and stuff like that, and you can do some things, but oh my gosh, you got to really manage it. I walk the perimeter of this house twice a week with a box of ant powder. I don't know what's in that crap. I think it's boric acid, but I really truly don't know. But oh my gosh, you sprinkle that on some ants and they're gone. I don't know what the hell's in there. I don't want to get it on my skin. Whatever it is, I know that. I mean, that's incredible. Yakamot. Yeah, ant poison. Anyway, so we do that. My library's pretty much done. I've ordered more teak boards to get the 5th and last top shelf for books in the library because the book shelves are full and there's more books I want to buy. I need a good copy of Moby Dick. I got a little paperback copy that's 15 years old, but I've read 3 times and the pages are starting to fall out. And I'm in the mood to read it again this winter for sure. And I need to get a new money. I need a new Dick. Yeah, so emotionally, I have really healed. Financially, I have healed, past tense. I have healed already. I am there. I'm good. I had to put in all the paperwork for my second pension for the first year and a half I was here. That was ridiculous that they dragged it out that long. That was ridiculous. They paid me all my back pay, but for crying out loud, that's to make a guy wait a year and a half. That's nuts. But we did it, and I survived it, and I have it, and it's great. So I'm not rich, no brag. I got lots of friends here that got way more money than I do. But to live in my little house, and it's a fancy motorcycle, but it's a motorcycle, not a car. And to ride that around, I can do that. My other luxury is I like my shirts fitted. That isn't expensive. I don't know why. A shirt that doesn't fit me right bothers me. Why is that? But it's a pet peeve of mine, and I get all my shirts tailored to like freaking perfection. So sue me. Other than that, though, it was hard. Like when I started out, like if you look at my first couple of videos on this channel, I had one pension. I was tight for money every month. I was living in a tiny little rental room. I was in 24-hour serious pain from my failed surgery, trying to rehab the old surgery before making the decision to get the new one, which the new surgery I've had 1.25 years now, and that's actually starting to heal. But it's taken 1.25 years to significantly begin to heal. These are rough surgeries, folks. If I was 30, hey, probably playing football by the second week. But when you're 62 now, that ain't happening. So the doctor warned me. He said, really, you're too old for this. But he goes, you're so athletic. You've done sports your entire life. He goes, you're in phenomenal shape, for your age and everything. He goes, I think you can do it. But he goes, it's going to be the hardest thing you ever did. And I would say, probably up there. I'd say getting my first black belt was still harder. That was insane. That was like success by people trying to kill you and you surviving. That's what that felt like. But I loved it. But oh my God, that was crazy. Anyhow, so physical, I'm now starting to really heal and feel better. I've got rules. I generally am active every other day. One is every other day. But that works, and that's enough for me. I'd like to be active every day, but I can accept every other day. That's okay. And now I've got the YouTube channel. Like before, when I was starting the channel, I was putting all this time in, and I get a little tiny bit of money every month for it, so it's like a little recognition, and I appreciate the channel members, people that volunteer a little bit every month. That's unbelievable that people do that, honestly. And then everybody that clicks on like or subscribe or whatever, all that adds, and I get like almost a car payment. I get a car payment every month from, which is not, it helps. It's nice, and. But in the beginning, I was doing all this work and getting nothing. Now I'm getting something out of it. Now I kind of know what I like to do, and I kind of have a little, you see all my videos now have a certain style and look to them. I've kind of sorted that out. My whole life is like that, basically, because now I have my routine at the gym. I have my own transportation with my motorcycle, and it's all done and registered in my name, and I just write it and put gas in it and take it to the dealership and change the oil once in a while. It's nothing. So in the beginning, I was doing all this work, and I was studying Thai a lot harder back then than I am now, and I couldn't really speak it anywhere to the level I do now. But so all this investing I was doing, it was a lot more stressful, I guess, if you think about it. I felt I had no choice. I was going to dig in and I wanted my retirement to be nice and successful and good and bear all the fruit that my life did. I didn't look at it as, hey, look, I got these 2 pensions coming in. I'm good. I'm done. I'm resting on my laurels. That was the whole goal. To me, it was like I was starting over at zero again. And now I need these new skills. And then making the crazy choice to retire in Thailand versus my home country, meant I really should be able to read, speak, and write Thai. Otherwise, I'm just going to be impaired. I'll be impaired my entire life here. And I didn't want that. I didn't want to be unempowered. I like being in control of my environment, and that made me feel powerless. I didn't like that at all. So, but now we're good. Now I'm making jokes with people all the time, and sometimes people are surprised I catch something. I'll have another Thai trying to translate into basic Thai and speak slow because they want the foreigner to understand. I'm like, yeah, I got that, and they're like, oh, okay, So, I'm a couple levels beyond where I was, even 2 years ago. And I was kind of lonely when I got here because, you take the emotional hit of losing a lot of people that you thought you meant something to. And then you get here, and the average foreigner is just, man, it's rough. It is, I believe, statistically true. I saw this on another channel, on a more fact-based crime kind of channel, not a Thailand travel bar girl channel, okay, like a real channel. And it does appear that the actual percentage majority of foreign men come here for not really good reasons. So there are a lot of criminals here. I just don't think of it. I never had a criminal friend that I'm aware of, so I'm just not thinking like that. But a lot of these guys come here to run drugs and run girls and do illegal loans and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I never thought about that, but I guess that's really common. So I don't know. It's I stay away from all those people. I have a pretty nice. I like a boring life. I had enough excitement with being an entrepreneur for 35 years and being a small business independent inventor. There's a crazy way to make a living. Let me tell you. No regrets, but my gosh, that's nuts. I would never advise somebody to do it. I mean that literally. I would never say go do that. That's insane. But I made it work somehow. All that's kind of in the past now, and now here I am, and I'm doing, like I said, my little table project I got coming up, and I did my wood paddle project up there. I'll throw a photo. I got my cross project that I did. These little things, and it's been a ton of fun putzing on the motorcycle. I've ordered a new bolt for the the rear seat, they call it the pillion on a motorcycle. The back seat's called a pillion. I don't know why, but I've ordered a little bolt that's just a nice little fancy bolt that's just right to look good as it holds the seat down. Just dumb little things like that distract me and I find pleasurable. Some of this too, I'm conscious of. I have one friend that, praise God, we are still really friends. We've been like really close friends for 45 years or something. And he's a couple of notches brighter than I am. He'd always have like some inspired thing he would say. I'm like, wow, I would have never thought of that. He just really was one of those guys, And it was teenagers. He talked me through the basic concept of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, which is a famous book. Highly recommend, very interesting. I'm kind of living that. The motorcycle has got nothing to do with it. It's all about life and being the best person you can. That's got nothing to do with motorcycles. That's just an analogy. But I happen to like motorcycles, so it kind of becomes a double entendre of some kind, I guess. I don't know. But man, I'm a happy guy. This has been great. Like, my happiness is, way higher than it was when I got here, and I was happy to be here, believe me, because that was like the first sign of like climbing out of the pit of hell, of divorce and having everything taken. The first stage of changing your life is everybody shows up in a big long conga line and takes everything from you that they can possibly take. You lose your marriage, your wealth, your friends, your self-respect of others or whatever, and it's painful. It's a humiliating, humbling, painful, shitty experience. It really is. And you go through it, and we all go through it. And we're all, going to go through it if you're going through a big change like that. But now I'm on the other end of it. All the people that stayed with me, man, they're good people, And I've made, finally, it took 4 years, but I've made like, maybe 4 nice, worthwhile, good friends here. And my social needs are low. Like if I text with somebody I've got 3 close friends, including my son, that I text with almost daily. Okay. And then everybody else, which is, I'm not saying one person better than another. It's just, I got 3 people that like to text on a regular basis. Other people are more comfortable every couple of weeks or so, which is fine by me. And I feel like there's out there somewhere somebody floating around, and these are all pretty worthwhile, pretty freaking impressive people, by the way, that some share their mind is, Rob's a pretty cool guy. I guess next time I come through town, I'll probably hook up with Rob. We'll get a coffee or a smoke or something, and we do that. And then I guess I should talk about Fawn. That has gone really well. She was a good friend when I arrived in Thailand. I knew her as a good friend. And then I was dating her and a few other ladies. And, she wasn't thrilled with, but, we weren't steady yet, and that was that. And after a little while, it didn't take all that long. I mean, Fawn was just, she played her cards pretty well, I would say, But she, in all fairness, she's really smart. She's a little bit too young, as I've mentioned frequently, but she's really bright. I mean, I think people don't have really the understanding of quite how intelligent she really is. She's able to make everything happen. If I want anything, I need anything, whether it's a surgery, a service, an item to purchase for the home. Find the right person to do something on my motorcycle. All these things can be very difficult at times. These can be very specialized things I'm looking for to facilitate my pleasant, enjoyable life here. And she'll find it, get it, make it happen, shape it, control it, whatever. And she's like the little magic genie. You rub the little lamp and I get like infinite wishes. She's constantly doing that for me. She makes everything fantastic. And she's a sweet, kind, good, traditional Isan cultural person, so Watanatam Dangdum person, Kon Thai, a Thai person. But on the other hand, she's a teeny tiny bit Samaimai, modern, where she's got the high education, she's got a little bit of city experience, she can resource and look things up on the internet, go through her network of friends, and a lot of her friends are fellow government employees, heads of various divisions who have the knowledge or ability to get something, find something, or make something happen. We needed a street light out in front of our house, and one of her good friends, their husband, runs electrical stuff around here. Now, we got to pay for it and do it all proper, nothing wrong, nobody stealing anything, but did we get our stuff done nice and quick? We dang sure did. It's just stuff like that. She just makes everything happen. And then she's sweet and kind. And took a little while for us to settle into a good relationship. I'll tell you, she was, what's unusual for a Thai woman. She wanted a leader, but she was used to having to lead on her own because she'd been alone for a long time with 2 boys. So I needed her to run things by me a little bit so I can have some general idea what the hell. I can't run a household if I don't know what the hell's going on. And she agreed with all that. It was just a matter of breaking an old habit. I still do the final say on things. I'm more comfortable with that. I've talked about that in other videos. I'm not going to repeat that whole thing. Fawn is more comfortable with that as well. And we've sorted that all out and we're both really happy. Again, I'm a 70s Neanderthal. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not bragging. I'm not saying that's great. Probably not great. Who knows? I don't know. But all I can tell you that's what I am. And I'm 62. I'm changing that. That's a core habit. That's not going to happen at this age. So it's going to have to be a certain way to work for me. Yeah, it's just how life is, right? But that's the thing, I have successfully bent this little teeny tiny corner of the world to suit me. And then I've adapted where I've needed to with the language and whatnot to adapt back. And here we are, meet in the middle, and everybody's pretty darn happy. And they are. And I've made a lot of good Thai friends, and I appreciate that. A lot of very nice people. And but it's taken me 4 years to settle into this. This is the right move. So I try to share everything accurately to help you guys that are looking at this and maybe thinking of doing something similar. So if that's you, good luck, and maybe consider looking at my book. I hate to try and sell things, but I don't make a penny off the book. I gave that to my son, who is an adult with autism. He makes about $100 a month with the book sale, which is sweet. And it gives us another excuse to talk to each other, which is half my evil intent. Anyways, but take a look at that. There's 23 chapters in every part of a Thai retirement, and I've gotten phenomenal feedback on it, and which I appreciate. I poured my heart and soul into that damn thing. I wrote it and re-edited it over 2 years. I put a ton of time. I've got 500 hours in it at least, probably a little more than that. It was from the heart. Anyways, but thanks. Just back at my bar having is it once a week? Probably once every 2 weeks. A little private bourbon tasting. And by private, I mean just me. This is my second time tasting the Russell's Reserve Single Barrel. Wow. The first time I tasted it, it was a little too much for my palate. I could not quite understand it. I mean, it was fine. It was okay. The second tasting, I'm like, oh my gosh, this stuff's incredible. What genius made this? So, tasting bourbon is like when you got a new album in the 80s, like Led Zeppelin came out with a new album, or Black Sabbath or somebody. You had to, I remember a good friend of mine saying, well, you got to play it twice because the first time, it just never sounds good the first time. Why is that? But bourbon's the same way. So I'm just, this is my glass from my trip to the Bourbon Trail. Can you see it? That I did with both my kids, post-divorce win, when both your kids want to travel with you. And not easy. If you happen to have an extremely hostile and venomous ex-wife, if that's your situation, then that'd be a hard thing to do. So here's an actual photo I took just a few days ago. That was what I woke up to, and I thought, well, I got to get my phone out. It's beautiful sunrise. I love it. This is a selfie I took while chatting with a friend. I was sitting in front of my garage, and here's just a very pretty picture of Fawn we took a couple weeks ago on our trip to Laos. Very nice. There's 1 baht of gold I gave Kun Pa after 4 years of helping me with everything, or 3.5 or whatever. Here's a pre-wedding photo of me and Fawn for our little upcoming ceremony. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. If you've watched this far, please consider hitting like and subscribe.